Welcome to my Asshole Podcast. Let's get into it. Welcome to my Asshole Podcast. Today is Thursday. You know what we got? We got a lovely book episode for you guys. We're continuing beautiful Venom. Oh, baby. We are on chapters 3 and 4 for today. My goodness, this book is brand spanking new, and it's already getting good. I'm excited to see how this book unfolds. I'm excited to see how our characters play into the world and what is going on. Because it seems like it's just more than a hockey romance book. Seems like there's a little something dark going on and sinister in the background. But before we get into today's book, you guys know that we have a thread. We have our thread for today is, what is the worst thing that a person can put in their bio on a dating app? All right, so let's see what crazy ass motherfucking shit motherfuckers be putting in their dating app bios. I think we've gone over this one before, but I'm not 100% sure. But let's see. I'm sure, it's probably been updated since then. Okay. What is the worst thing a person can put in their dating app bio? If you can't hold a conversation, don't bother. You'll be carrying the entirety of the conversation. That's so facts. Because what I've noticed, all right, what I've noticed is a lot of times girls really want a dude that knows how to communicate because they themselves don't know how to communicate. You know what I mean? It's one of those things where they kind of want a guy who is a good communicator, so that way the guy can do all the communicating for them because they are just really bad at communicating. They don't want a good communicator because they themselves are a good communicator. That is a fallacy, and that is something I have figured out from just talking to him. And I ain't gonna lie to you, there's been times it was funny because if you guys remember Tuesday's episode when I had Mia on, I was talking to her and I was like, it's so crazy to me how dull a lot of women are. Like when I was on dating apps, I'd go out with them, right? Hang out with them, whatever. And I'm just like, okay, so on your profile, it said that you're interested in XYZ. And then they're like, yeah, I am. And I'm like, okay. So, how'd you get into it? Oh, just like anything you get into, you just you do it and then you like it. And I'm just like, oh, brother, you know what I mean? It's like, dude, it's tough. It is tough, but that's what I figured out. I was like, you know what? Yeah, the girls that, and I don't remember if any of those girls had that in their profile, but I'm sure they did, because I look at it like, I'm a good communicator. I know how to keep a good conversation going. I know how to listen to the conversation, ask follow-up questions, keep shit moving and grooving. But there are times, where I'm like, hey, I need you to kind of reciprocate a little bit. Yeah, man. Oh, it's a headache. That shit is an absolute headache. Okay, what is the worst thing a person can put in their dating app bio? Don't waste my time and don't play games. Bruh. Come on, man.
Bruh.
No shit. You know what I mean? Why do people feel putting the most basic shit in there is some kind of oh yeah, oh this is it right here, baby. This is what's gonna get me matches. If I put in there, don't play games and don't waste my time. Oh yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Bro, that is a waste of a prompt. I'm not getting to know you with anything like that. Dude, come on. We're all here not trying to waste our time. What are you doing, bro? And it's funny because even Michael on the Sunday episodes, he's always said that, where it's just people don't want to feel like they're wasting their time. So, of course, I'm not going to want to waste my time if talking to you or whatever. Bro, come on. Oh, my God. Put stuff that actually lets me get to know you. All right, what is the worst thing that a person can put on their dating profile? Alpha male. Oh, my. Oh.
Bruh.
Come on, man. See, look, bro. There are some people who understand what the quote unquote red pill is about. It's just the truth on whatever subject it is you're talking about, whether it's women, it's dating, it's politics, it's whatever, okay? Then there are those guys that take it to the next level and they feel like, oh no, it's supposed to be this, like, I have to be alpha, they're betas, and rah, and this, and I'm just like, bro, no. What are you doing? Like, you are the type of guys that give guys bad names. You know, like, they're actual masculine guys that will get bad reps and will get looked at as, you know, weird or whatever, because that's kind of what they're expecting. And if I'm being honest with you, the dudes who sit there and they say that they're alpha, or they say that they're a dominant guy, or that they say that they're these things, they're not. They're not. It's one of those things where if you have to say that you are this, then odds are you're not that. If I'm being real with you, like, that's just what it comes down to. And that's what I've noticed, even dating and talking to people and talking to guys, talking to girls, and even you guys in the community, as far as when you send in your scenarios and stuff like that. What I've noticed is people tend to do this thing where whatever they are not, they will tell themselves and convince themselves that they are, so that way they can try to tell you and convince you that that's what they are. And in reality, it's like, no, that's not what you are. Accept it. You know what I mean? And it's just, I get it, the whole cliche of like, be yourself. But if I'm being honest with you, a lot of times when you're kind of just unapologetically you and realize that you're not going to be every girl's cup of tea, it is what it is, man. And the thing is like, self-improvement and being yourself are not the same thing. They are two different things. There are things that make you universally attractive. Like, as a guy, you being universally attractive is, you know, making good money, having a group of people around you that respect you and admire you, being able to have leadership qualities, all these kind of things, you know, be funny, be assertive, be dominant, talk to people, you know, you're not weird and all that kind of stuff. Like, that all can be self-improved. And then there's you being yourself. And I feel like that's your hobbies, things that you like, things that you do. You know, I would never sit there and tell a girl that I don't do something that I actually enjoy doing just to try to seem cool to her. Nah, I'm going to tell her that I like this. And if she doesn't like it either, it is what it is, man. You just weren't for me. I'm not your cup of tea, and it is what it is. I'm going to go find the girl that is for me. And that's why I bring it to the full circle of the whole alpha male thing. It's like, these guys, what they'll decide to do is they'll tell themselves that they're that, and then they'll try to tell you that, convincing you, or they tell themselves that, trying to convince themselves, and then they'll try to tell you, convincing you. And it's just like, bro, come on, man. Like, you're being dumb. You're being absolutely dumb. But yeah, that's ridiculous. All right, what is the worst thing that a person can put in their dating bio? All pictures are group pictures, same people in each one. Which one is you? Facts. Facts. I ain't gonna lie to you. All right, this is gonna sound bad, but it's the truth, and all my guys in the comments are gonna know what I'm talking about, okay? Anytime there is a pretty girl and there is a fat girl, 9 times out of 10, it's the fat girl's profile. I'm sorry to say, it's just the truth, bro. It is the truth. You'll get that 1 time out of 10 that it's actually the skinny girl's profile, but let's be honest, bro. Let's be honest, man. It's the fat girl, bro. It's the fat girl's profile. It's bad, son. And that's why a lot of times I don't even take, like when I was on dating apps, I didn't even take the gamble. I was just like, fat girl, skinny girl. Okay. All right. You know, oh, it's bad to say that. I'm horrible. I know, but I'm just saying that is a thing that you'll run into a lot. And ladies, if you don't believe me, make a dating app as a guy. Make a dating app as a guy and you'll see what I'm talking about. And you'll be like, damn. Okay. He was harsh, but he was right. Oh, shit. Okay. Okay. Let me see. Sorry. All right. What is the worst thing that a person can put in their dating app bio? Their IQ. Huh? See, look, I can't stand when people flex their quote unquote IQ, especially if you've never taken an IQ test. Okay, if you've never taken an IQ test, don't ever sit there and talk to me talking about you have a 3-digit IQ. Get the fuck out my face. Now, if you take a if you've taken a test and you've confirmed that you're, a 3-digit IQ number, okay, whatever. But honestly, I don't see it as a flex, and the reason being is because I look at it like you can't go to college and then pretend that you are smart in every single subject that you come across. It's like, no, I would argue if you went to college, let's say for nursing or whatever, yeah, I would look at you as like, yes, you are smart in nursing. But when it comes to like computers or coding, no, I'm not going to sit here and say that you're a smart person. I'm going to be like, you're stupid. You need to shut up and learn something. Like, I can't stand people who look at it like, I have a degree, that means I am blanket smart. And it's like, no, it's not. You're smart in a field. You're not smart all the way around. You know what I mean? And that, to me, really pisses me off when there are people who think that because they have a degree or an education, that they are smart. And it's like, no, you're not. You're smart in a field. You're not smart. You know, there's two different things. When you're smart in multiple different things in multifaceted ways, then okay, I would be like, yes, you're a smart individual. But if you're just smart in one degree field, then I would look at it like you're smart in a specific degree field, and that is it. You are not blanketed smart. There is still much more you need to learn. In other subjects, you are considered dumb. Like, that's just the way it goes. And for some reason, people don't get that. People will sit there all the time telling me like, oh, I have a degree in this, and so I can talk about this. I have a degree in that. And I'm like, I don't give a shit what your degree is in. We're not talking about what the field of your degree is in. So, no, I'm not going to fucking listen to you. Now, if what we're talking about is within the degree of what you studied, then okay, I would have something to learn from you. You know what I mean? But that all kind of goes back to like IQ. A lot of people sit there and they think just because they have an education and just because they have a degree in something that they have a high IQ. And it's like, no. An IQ is your intelligence on a multifaceted amount of things, not just one subject. And that's what what pisses me off with people who sit there and they claim a 3-digit IQ. And I'm like, have you ever taken an IQ test? Because I really don't think you have. You know what I mean? I'm telling you. Next time a person sits there and tries to tell you if they have a 3-digit IQ, that I would ask them if you've taken a test. You know what I mean? Because odds are most of them haven't. It's stupid. All right, what is the worst thing a person can put in their dating app bio? Lately, I've been avoiding people who say they are an entrepreneur. Facts, bro. Facts. Those are honestly the worst kind of people. Like, entrepreneur used to be a thing like people were humble about. Nowadays, though, any motherfucker with a YouTube channel is just like, I'm an entrepreneur. And I'm just like, bruh, come on, man. Like, me personally, I consider myself just a content creator. I create content. That is it. I don't sit here and claim I'm an entrepreneur. I don't claim I'm this and that. I'm like, nah, bro. Or a business owner. And nah, bro. Nah, I am just a content creator. That is it. Anybody who sits there and says that they're an entrepreneur and then you're like, oh, what is your business? And they're over here talking about, oh, yeah, I have a TikTok account or I have a YouTube account. Man, slap them silly and tell them to shut up. Like, dude, get the fuck out of here. You're a content creator. That is it. That is all you are. Like, a lot of people love to sit there and conflate the two and be like, oh, yeah, I have a YouTube channel. I'm a business owner. Oh, yeah, I have this. And it's like, no. Now, if your YouTube channel is tied to a business, then okay. I'd be like, yeah, you're a business owner. Now, and if it's a thing where, say, your business is tied to TikTok Shop, then okay, I'd sit there and be like, yeah, you're an entrepreneur. Yeah, you're a business owner. But motherfuckers will sit there and be like, oh, I post videos and oh, I, do 1 hour live streams, once a day or whatever. And they're like, I'm an entrepreneur. It's like, no, you're not. No, you're not. You're a content creator and that's it. Like, they're not one and the same. They are completely different. That'd be pissing me off when people sit there and they're just like, yeah, I'm an entrepreneur. Yeah, I own a business. And they just make YouTube videos. It's like, no, bruh. What the fuck are we talking about here? Oh, my God. And a lot of times, 9 times out of 10, people who claim entrepreneurship are broke. Okay? Let's be 1,000%. Entrepreneurship is the new way of saying I don't have a job. Let's be real, man. Sorry to say it, but it is what it is. What is the worst thing that a person can put on their dating app bio? Make me laugh. Must love dogs. Do you agree or disagree that pineapple belongs on pizza? Bro, the holy trinity of basic bitches. Oh my God. The amount of white girls that you're going to see with that. And I wouldn't say all, but majority of girls put that whole make me laugh thing. And you're just like, bro, shut up. You don't, there's no way a dude making you laugh on a fucking dating app is going to get you to get out of bed, get ready, and go on a date with this dude. Get the fuck out of my face. There's no way a dude that's going to make you laugh is going to make it to where you will type more than 3 words in a reply. Like, stop. Let's be 100% here, honey. That's not happening, and you and I both know that's not happening. I'm telling you, man, people sit there and they be thinking I'm capping, and then they'll go and experience the same shit that I'm talking about, and then they'll sit there and be like, oh shit, yeah, man, you was right, I experienced this. And I'm just like, yeah, nigga, because I'm speaking from experience, stupid. You know what I mean? There's so many times people be sitting there and they be trying to like demean what I say on the show. Like, I'm the type of person, look, I have to be held accountable for everything that I say because everything that I'm saying is recorded. All right, and can be used back against me. So my thing is if I'm speaking about something that I know nothing about, then yes, I know I'm going to get flamed over it. But if I'm speaking on some shit that I have experience about, trust me, you will experience it. You may not experience it now. You may not experience it tomorrow. You may not experience it in a month, 6 months, or a year. But you will experience it. And you'll be like, damn, that ninja was right. I'm telling you, bro. Just because a nigga makes you laugh on a dating app doesn't mean you're going to send a reply that's more than 3 words. You are not going to get out of bed, get ready, and go on a date with this dude. Like, let's be honest. Bruh, dating apps are just a fucking scam. Oh my God, bruh. Terrible. Terrible, terrible, terrible. All right. Cool. We're going to do 3 more and win the thread. What is the worst thing that a person can put in their dating app bio? A list of requirements. I'm not applying for a job. I'm trying to see if we'd have a good relationship. Based on your bio, you're not looking for a compatible person. You're looking for someone who gives you what you need, and you don't seem to realize that's only half of a relationship. Yeah, and honestly, people who have like list of requirements, you are the type of people that you don't know what you want in a relationship. You're just kind of letting the internet tell you what you want, and then you think that that's what you want. And I guarantee you, once you get that person, you're not going to know what to do with that said person. And what I mean by you're not going to know what to do with that said person, it's going to be a thing where this person is going to perceive you in a certain way that you are actually not. You know what I mean? There's going to be times where, because, okay, look at it this way. Say if I was the type of guy where I was like, I want a girl that is this, 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 and this. And that girl was just like, oh, he's attractive, and I am this, 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 and this. What she's going to do, without even realize she's doing it, this is the psychology of it, she's going to do these things called shit tests. She's going to be shit testing you. She's going to be doing little shit to see if you actually are the guy that you say that you are. And most girls do this because most girls are tired of being lied to by a guy saying that I'm this and I'm that and I can do this and I can do that. And so what they'll do is women will shit test you to see if you can actually, if your rubber can actually meet the road and you are what you say you are, you know? And so girls will shit test you and do these little things. And when you are not what you require, say it's one of those things where it's just like, oh, I want a girl who is, I don't know, a homebody or something. And then this girl is not a homebody. Or she may be a homebody to a degree, but she kind of, is always going out ever since she got into a relationship with the dude. And then the dude accepts that. And he's just, oh, it's okay. Oh, it's fine. Yeah, go out. And da-da-da. In her mind, she's thinking, yeah, nigga, you ain't really about that. Because if you were the type of dude that wanted a girl that doesn't go out all the time, you'd be telling me not to go out all the time. You know what I mean? That's what I'm talking about. They do these little shit tests to kind of see if the dude is actually who he says he is. And I would argue 9 times out of 10, these niggas is capping. You know what I mean? You know, that I truly feel on a first date, a guy will say something and the girl is just like,
stop the cap.
And then dude will say something again.
Stop the cap.
And then she's just like, you know, I'll be nice to get through the day. He say some other shit.
Stop the cap.
Like, you know, I feel like that is just playing in a girl's mind over and over and over and over and over again. Like, bro, because I'm telling you, man, there are so many dudes that have either talked to me or come to me for advice or whatever it may be, and they sit there and they're just like, oh, should I tell a girl that I'm this? Should I tell a girl? And I'm like, are you that? And they're like, no, but you know, she might think. I'm like, nigga, this is what's gonna happen if you lie to this girl. You will get her interested on the first date. All right, she will go on this first date. She'll find out that
stop the cap.
You are capping out your fucking teeth. And then she will never call you back, and then your dumb ass is going to be sitting there texting yourself in the text thread or on Instagram. Like, bruh, dudes be sitting there wondering why girls ghost them, and it's like, nigga, because you sit there and you just lying to her because you want to cater to her so bad. And that's why it comes to my previous point where I'm just like, self-improving and being who you are is not the same thing, bro. There are things that'll make you universally attractive, and then there are things that make you kind of unique to you, and that's your hobbies and what you like and all that kind of stuff. And if you like certain things, like I use the example, I like, you know, computers and technology and building computers and coding and shit like that. If a girl is not into that or she doesn't find that attractive in me, then that's not my girl. You know what I mean? Dudes get so coochie-natized where they feel like, oh my God, this is the only girl in the world because she went on a date with me. There is no other girl in the entire world. All the other 4 billion women, they just don't exist anymore because this one girl is everything to me. And I'm just like, bro, the one-itis. The one-itis is a disease that men need to really find the cure for. Like, y'all niggas be crazy, bro. I'm just saying. All right, let's get into our last one for today's thread. What is the worst thing that a person can put in their dating app bio? No face pic until I know you don't know my husband or wife is crazy. There's no way. There are really people that are like that? That is wild. Hey, I don't know what to say, but that's some crazy shit. They're over here like, yeah, I'm not going to give you a picture of me until I know that you don't know my wife or husband, bruh. Oh my goodness gracious. See, that's what I'm talking about, bro. Dating apps are dangerous, man. Dating apps are absolutely dangerous. They're one of the like most horrible inventions ever for single people and people in relationships. There is no hiding from a damn dating app, dude. Oh my God. That's crazy. I never know. I don't know. I don't have anything to say to that. I've never experienced that on a dating app. I've never experienced like someone being like, oh yeah, no picture until I know that you don't know my husband or wife. Bro, that's crazy. Woo! Hey, I'm going to leave that one where it is. You guys let me know what you thought about that one in the comments. If you guys have something that you think is just horrible to put in a dating app bio, definitely let me know down in the comments. My goodness. Oh, I'm glad I'm off those fucking things. Terrible. Okay. We'll have to announcements and we'll get right on into our book. So patreon.com/MyTheAssholePodcast. Get an exclusive episode every single Friday, as well as being able to send in your scenario to be featured on the Tuesday and Sunday show. Audio listeners, thank you guys so much for all of the support that you guys have been showing. You guys absolutely have been killing the game. I so appreciate that so much. You guys come out, you show out, you do your thing. I thank you so much for all the support. I really, really do. You guys coming every week, downloading the episodes, and, just supporting the show in the way that you guys do. That means a lot to me, and I do appreciate that. If you guys want to help out even more, go ahead and follow us on Instagram, TikTok, as well as subscribing on YouTube. All of that is free, and it does help out tremendously. All the links are down in the description. If you guys haven't seen the first episode of Beautiful Venom, at the bottom of the description is a YouTube playlist as well as a Spotify playlist for you guys to get caught up and stay caught up on Beautiful Venom, okay? As well as all of the playlists for all the other books that we've done as well. I think the last book that we just finished was King of Wrath. Both Hunting Adeline is in there. We also have some other books in there and whatnot. Even on my YouTube channel, there's a bunch of playlists for books and all that kind of stuff. So, I try to make sure all of those episodes are in a playlist for you guys. That way you guys can get the content that you want and not the content you don't want and all that good stuff. So, I'm going to stop yappa-rapping. We're going to get right on into today's book. Let's do the dang thing. I'm going to have to move you guys on over.
Three. Dahlia. Don't disappoint me. Don't disappoint me. Don't disappoint me. It's been a week since Kane spoke those words to me. He said nothing since then, and for some reason I can't get them out of my mind. I've been trying to sneak into the arena to watch the Vipers practice, maybe catch Kane's attention and ask him about what steps will be taking place going forward. However, their security is no joke. They have a zero-tolerance policy for outsiders, even if they're the team's biggest fans. Doesn't matter if they go to Greystone University. If it weren't for the very real pictures in my phone, I'd think the whole conversation I had with Kane and the promise he made about taking me to the initiation was a figment of my imagination. Sure, no one knows when and where Vencor's initiations take place, since, according to rumors, they changed them up to keep the mysterious factor going. But Kane is in the inner circle. The senior level is the highest rank attainable for all members, except for founders. I have no clue what type of trials they must go through or how many souls they have to sell to the devil to get there. But I suspect their own soul isn't enough. I frown at my picture with Kane on my phone. I posted it on social media the other day and tagged him, but all I got was a like. That's all. No DM or further acknowledgement of my existence. Nothing. I'm supposed to be studying, but I find myself staring at the selfie again. Kane's expression is calmer than a starless night and just as deep. I can't imagine him selling his soul, to be honest. He genuinely listens and lacks Preston's shadiness and Jude's brutality. He can be relentless during a game if need be, but I've never seen Kane be aggressive, whether on or off the ice. I zoom in on his hand where the ring shows. He's still a Vencor, a senior Vencor. For some reason, I seem to gloss over that detail whenever I think about Kane, which I've done constantly since our last encounter. Vencor or not, I don't believe he's the type who dishes out empty promises. But why hasn't he gotten in contact since then? He's kind of untouchable on campus, so I can't exactly walk up to him like we're acquaintances. We study in completely different fields in buildings that are on opposite ends of campus anyway. Him business, me pre-med, so it would be hard to pop in there and pretend it's a coincidence. Besides, would that be a smart thing to do, initiating a public meeting? The other time, he made sure his teammates were out of earshot before he talked to me. I assume he doesn't want our deal to be exposed. Kane Davenport, you ain't playing about your crush. My head whips up. I was so focused and lost in my thoughts, I didn't notice Megan getting close to my desk. I fumbled to flip the phone over. He's not my crush. Megan is my roommate in GU's dorms and is here on a scholarship like me, so at least there's not much societal difference between us. But lucky for her, she comes from a happy family, and I often see her at the local cafes with her parents or siblings. I keep to myself, and she keeps to herself. She did try to befriend me in the beginning, since she's a real extrovert. But after she witnessed me studying like a dog to earn the grades needed for my scholarship, she kind of retreated. and decided to spend more time with her friends in the social sciences department. Megan is a redhead with dark skin and a striking fashion style. She's rocking a red, white, and green kimono-style dress with slits in the skirt and glimmering chains for straps for one of her nights out. "Girl, you were staring at that man like he was a snack." Megan checks herself in the full-length mirror near the entrance of our room. "I was not." "Uh-huh." She takes a few selfies in the mirror. Her side of the room is full of colorful clothes piled on the bed from when she was picking her outfit. Some purses have fallen on the floor, but her desk is spotless. All her social science books neatly displayed like they're actual treasures. My side is minimalist at best with my med books and laptop. However, my bedside table is covered with haphazard college hockey magazines that I've been studying more seriously than my school projects. My 3 pairs of white sneakers are lined up by my side of the closet, while Megan's are full of all types and colors of shoes. "And here I was wondering about your recent obsession with hockey. Gotta say, you have expensive tastes. You couldn't go for a lower-grade peasant from the team?" I spin in my chair to face her. The other difference between Megan and me is that she's been at GU since her freshman year. As for myself, I was studying in the neighboring town, Stantonville. I initially applied to GU and Stanton River College, or SRC, but my application was rejected for GU, and I was accepted into SRC. Which was a bummer, but at least Violet was accepted into SRC too, so we moved from New Jersey to Stantonville. Imagine my surprise when I was offered a random scholarship to GU for my senior year this summer. To say I was over the moon would be an understatement. GU's medical program is one of a kind, which is why I wanted to enroll here in the first place. And to be offered that opportunity for my senior year felt unreal. Violet seemed a bit apprehensive, but she still bought me a little cake and we had a blast celebrating that night. I thought this would be my new beginning. And it is, but now I don't have Violet with me. Megan is actually a local to Stantonville and could have gone to SRC, but she purposefully applied for a scholarship here because, in her words, this place is the shit. Aside from their famous hockey program, SRC doesn't have much to offer. The Stanton Wolves are the Vipers' biggest rival. Both teams are known to produce the best NHL players, and their Cold War games are easily the highlight of the college league. Despite Megan not being massively interested in hockey, she was brought up surrounded by these 2 legends, so she knows more than the rumors I've heard and what my technical research can produce. "I didn't go for anyone," I say to keep up the conversation. "He was generous enough to let me take a fan selfie after the game." She shifts her attention from the mirror and hikes a hand on her hip. "You'll sit there and tell me with a straight face that you don't want to be anything more than a fan?" I spin my fountain pen between my fingers but remain silent. "That's what I thought," she says with a gloating facial expression, then looks at the mirror again to pat her red curls. "Better not get your hopes up. He's top of the food chain, as in royalty in this college, town, and world. People like you and me don't mess with people like them and get out unscathed. So lower the standards. Unless you only want to fuck him. In that case, get in line. I'd let that man throw me around like I'm his puck. I heard from an acquaintance of an acquaintance that he has a huge dick to match the energy." "Megan? What? Gotta do my research before opening my legs. And I just did yours too. You're welcome." I laugh despite myself. "What else do you know aside from rumors about his dick size?" "That's all I need." She side-eyes me. "That's all you need as well if you want to stay out of trouble." "I just want to know my chances." "You have none. Those people who live up the hill only get into relationships with each other, marry each other, and produce little minions like themselves who will repeat the cycle all over again. We're outsiders, Dee. Outsiders get no chances." She looks up. "Dear God, in the next life, I want to be reborn as a rich man." "Amen. Hold on. With a huge dick also. Big amen to that. No pun intended." So, outsiders get no chances, but fucking is okay? Hell yeah! Fucking is harmless fun. Anything beyond that is not. If you want to be super realistic, you'll get a better chance fucking that man-whore Preston, who accepts all girls' advances, than Kane. Hell, Jude might be easier to fuck than Kane. It's hard to get that man excited about anything other than hockey. His hookups are few and far between. Either he's training to be a monk, or he has one hell of an NDA in place because all the girls want a piece. But few have managed to get it, and those who did don't talk about it. Fucking Kane is the last thing on my mind right now. Okay, not really the last. I'd be lying if I said I don't find him hot. Under different circumstances, I'd be open to some harmless fun like Megan, but with my situation, I need something deeper. A lot deeper. Have you ever been to Ravenswood Hill? I ask. You know, to snoop and see how they live. Hell no. This pretty head. She motions at her face. I want it kept on this pretty neck. Thank you very much. Is it that dangerous? Fuck yeah. Listen, I know you're probably one of those students who loves the thrill of secret worlds, haunted houses, and enchanted forests, but this is not a horror movie. Those who've dared to go close to the hill have disappeared without a trace. Don't become a statistic. I already have. I have nothing else to lose. But Megan is right. Going to the hill just to snoop without any entry or escape plan in place is just asking for death. That's why I thought the best way would be to achieve entry through the team. Megan sprays a cloud of perfume before she leaves, attempting one final time to invite me to the latest sick party. However, she gives up when I tell her I'm studying tonight. At least, that's what I intend to do. I find it hard to focus and barely finish reading a case study for ethics. My phone lights up and I check it to look at the pictures Megan sent of what I missed. The pen nestled between my fingers stills and drops on top of my textbook when I find a DM from @Kane.Davenport.
Kane, are you free tonight?
My heart thunders so loudly I can hear it in my ears as I type, "Hi, yes," then realize it sounds too desperate, so I delete it. Dahlia. Why?
Kane, the initiation is tonight, in 2 hours.
Oh, God. That came sooner than I expected. I didn't think I'd get a save the date card or anything, but a 2-hour notice? I'm not even mentally prepared.
Kane, will you be there?
Dahlia. Yes. Where?
I'll send you a location. Be there in an hour and a half.
Okay. Thank you. I think the conversation has ended as he sees my text and doesn't reply, but then a single word appears on the screen and my heartbeat quickens.
Kane. Dahlia.
Me. Yes?
Red. Say that word now and this nightmare won't happen. If you don't, you won't have a chance afterward.
My eyes fly over what he's written again and again. Just like when he learned about my interest, he's offering me a way out. But he doesn't know that when my mind is set on something, I won't stop until it's done. Someone in Vencor was behind my sister's attack and subsequent coma. I lost my only family because of them. And I won't rest until they're 6 feet under, hopefully after they suffer. So no, even if I'm going to die, I won't take the out that Kane's offered. I like that he's putting the option on the table, though. Dahlia. I'll be there. There's a long stretch of silence from his end before he sends one final text.
Kane, dress comfortably. It's going to be the longest night of your life. 4. Kane. This isn't the first, the second, or even the 100th time I've faced such a scene. It won't be the last, either. But it never manages to penetrate me. Not the screams, the gurgling of blood, the stench of fear mingled with the absolute realization that they fucked up. And that it's the final time they'll ever fuck up. Listen, please, hear me out. The Vice-Chancellor, Fred, begs on his knees, his belly bulging from between his shirt's ripped buttons, his ugly purple tie tight, turning his face red. Jude, Preston, and I asked Fred to join us for a ride after school. He smiled with delight, thinking we were presenting him with an opportunity. It's not every day that a mere vice chancellor gets a private meeting with 3 senior VenCorps members who will become de facto founder members as soon as they graduate. And Fred, like any VenCorps member, knows that only we who are born into the 4 founding families are granted the founder position. So we've always held monopoly on the power balance on campus, even if we're still just senior members, a position Fred will never reach, because instead of the opportunity-filled meeting he expected, we drove him to a warehouse owned by my family, located so far out of town no one would hear him scream. My father's cronies are stationed outside, waiting for us to finish with our fun so they can clean up. Though truly it's more fun for Jude and Preston than me. I'm only here to finish a decapitation mission, meaning cut the head off a snake that's starting to consider biting its master. VenCorp's power, aside from strong business relations between the 4 founding families, is all about control. If there's an opportunity, not only do we seize it, but we also eliminate anyone who forms any type of obstacle. It's a secret society that's highly dependent on its founder members and their connections, but unlike any other society, it's not exactly a brotherhood. And internal fighting among the 4 founding families to snatch the upper hand is common. Senior members, the highest position any outsider can reach, are more primed to take upper positions in society, like senators, leaders of political parties, or controllers of military and financial complexes. Their job is to grow VenCorp's connections and serve its goals. They usually have members catering to them, doing their bidding and keeping an eye on them in case they go awry. It's not unheard of for a member to become a senior for disclosing the betrayal of a previous senior he worked for. Since it's impossible for anyone not born to a founding family to achieve a higher rank, Preston, Jude, and I are anomalies on campus. We hold power over the team, and everyone at Greystone University bows down to us. Today's mission is one I handpicked for myself, so the other 2 didn't need to join. But then again, Jude has developed a pesky addiction to killing, and Preston suffers from an incurable case of bloodlust. As senior members, we're actually the ones who assign those lower than us in rank with those types of missions, and our role is to supervise from the shadows, only intervening if things spiral. But I've always liked being hands-on. I don't trust anyone else to finish the job as efficiently as I do. Hear what exactly? I lean back in a metal chair across from Fred, leisurely wiping my gun with a cloth and making sure it's in his field of vision the whole time. That you're dealing drugs on campus behind our backs. It was only a one-time thing. Please, I have a family, he begs, droplets of sweat gathering on his upper lip and oily nose. Then you should have thought of that family before you crossed us. I stand up. No one crosses VenCorp. You're only a little tool to be used. It's bad form when you start believing you have agency. We do the thinking, not you. I promise I'll never do it again if you give me another chance. Don't be naive. There are no second chances. One mistake, and you're out. Especially when you thought you could get away with it. Jude slides by and Fred grabs his tie and tugs him so far back, I'm surprised his neck doesn't snap. The audacity is sending me. Preston kneels in front of Freddy, rolling the handle of his knife between his fingers. Newsflash, nothing escapes us. You can hide, but you can't run. You can run, but you can't hide, Jude tells him. Well, I meant it the other way around. Preston presses the knife close to Fred's neck, and the man holds his breath. Whether it's due to Preston's knife or the way Jude is strangling him, I can't tell. That's not how it works. Don't be an idiot. The pan calling the kettle black. The pot calling the kettle black, not pan. Same fucking meaning. Preston throws his hands back, slashing Fred's throat in the process. Blood gushes out like a fountain, spraying both of them with red. Their faces, hair, clothes, everywhere. It even splashes my jeans and shoes. What a drag. Fred's mouth is open, his eyes staring at nowhere as he bleeds out in seconds. Ah! Look what the fuck you've done, Jude! Preston rises to his full height. I didn't have the chance to watch him die. Me? You're the one who killed him, motherfucker. We didn't even get to torture him. Preston squares up to him. It was because you were being a smartass trying to correct me. I wouldn't have to correct you if you were right, now would I? I'm always right. Not my fault a peasant like you can't recognize a superior being. More like a superior pain in the ass. The fuck you just call me? Jude steps closer. Pain. He taps his shoulder. In the ass. He hits him upside the head. That clear enough for you? Preston grabs him by the collar. I'm so gonna drown you in Freddy's blood. They're about to start wrestling while bickering as usual, so I sheathe my gun in my belt and say, just so you know, if you start fighting, I'm not breaking it up. I'm not getting stained by that filthy blood any more than I already am. Oh yeah? Preston grins, and the motion looks manic with rivulets of crimson cascading down his face. Then he releases Jude's collar, all aggression disappearing, and places a brotherly arm around his shoulders. Big man, is it just me or does it seem like Kane is looking down on us? No, you're right. He has that holier-than-thou thing going on. It's revolting. That's what I'm saying. I think we should do something about it. Don't you fucking dare. Before I can manage to escape, they jump me. Jude and especially Preston get the blood all over me, and while I try to throw them off, these two are actually the perfect fucking team and they overpower me. They've always done this. Since we were in boarding school, they'd be bickering and I'd try to break it up, so they gang up on me just because. I only managed to shove them off of me after Fred's blood is covering me from head to toe. Preston laughs, and Jude watches with a satisfied expression as I walk out of the warehouse to talk to my father's men. Fucking children. Doesn't matter how Fred died, it only matters that he died, and won't be betraying Vencor anymore. The upper echelon, aka the founders, will pick a replacement for him soon enough. That is, if they haven't already. My mission as the Viper's captain is to make sure the campus is under control and fulfills its role as one of Vencor's multiple tentacles. Since this town is obsessed with hockey to the point of considering it a religion, it makes sense to use the most popular team as our base, through which we keep an eye on Greystone University and even recruit those we deem worthy. Though, the vetting process only allows us to invite high-ranking members of society. Usually, that is. Because as I slide into my car, I'm thinking about the exception to that rule. The fake fan who claimed she wanted to be offered a chance to be on the inside. A chance I'm granting not because I sympathize, but because I want to see her on her knees. Literally, figuratively. I hit the gas. Time to get to the highlight of my evening. Here's to hoping she doesn't disappoint me. If she does, I might have to drive her to one of our warehouses. And it'd be a shame to turn those bright hazel eyes red.
5. Dahlia. Months. It's been months of constant, careful plotting, thorough calculating, and painstaking patience. Months. And today's finally the day. I wipe my clammy hands on my jeans as I park my bike in a parking space and power walk through the dimly lit streets. I actually followed Kane's advice and came in my most relaxed outfit, a plain gray t-shirt and my comfiest sneakers that are slightly beat up. If I said I wasn't scared, it'd be a flat-out lie. I've only heard rumors about Vencor's initiations, and they all mention a grueling interrogation process. having to endure physical and mental tests and being stripped bare of one's humanity. But they all remain rumors. No one but Vencor members know the truth. Despite the slight tremor that invades my limbs and the heaviness in my steps, no amount of fear will deter me from bringing Violet justice. Violet and I aren't blood-related, but we met in a foster home, one of the most abusive ones I lived in, and we bonded. She protected me when the man who was supposed to take care of us got too drunk on liquor and hit us, or when his wife tried to get me addicted to meth. Then one night, Violet took my hand and suggested we escape. We were homeless for a while, and she refused to take us to a shelter or anywhere else in the care system. Neither of us trusted it. I was maybe 12 at the time, and she was 13. For some reason, our previous foster parents, Martha and Gerald, didn't report us as runaways or missing right away, and Violet said she took care of it. I'm not sure how she convinced them, but something told me it was because of the black eyes she was sporting, and I wanted to go back and kill them. But the last thing we wanted was to be found and shoved into another abusive foster home. Thankfully, Violet looked older than her age, so she got a job at some shady restaurant and begged the owner lady to let me study in the storage room while she worked the evening shift. She fed me, made sure I was keeping my grades up, and took me for late-night walks. She's my mom, my dad, my sister, and my savior. She shielded me when she was in the cold. She fed me and stayed hungry herself. She was the warm shelter kids like me don't get. Until she was snatched away from me because of Vencor. They cut off my lifeline, and now I have nothing left except the need for cold-blooded revenge. The light dims further until only a few lit bulbs remain. They're so far apart and barely there that I have to rely on my phone's flashlight to see the path ahead. I follow the directions Kane sent me, which becomes a challenge when the lights gradually disappear. Especially when I start taking twists and turns down an uneven path. Finally, I arrive at the old 3-story building that's no longer in use. The entrance to the front door is hidden in plain sight, concealed behind an overgrown iron gate that's covered with chaotic ivy and large bushes. The stone appears chipped in a few places, and the upper level looks as if it's about to fall apart, the ground floor creaking under the unstable weight. 6 men in black leather jackets and pants stand on either side of the entrance. All of them wear silver masks with subtle engraved talon and feather details that shine under the low orange light coming from the rusty lamps. I slow to a halt, unsure whether or not I can go inside. The door opens with a loud squeak in the silent night, and I startle. "Can I go in?" I ask the statue-like men, but I get no reply. The eerie quiet is deafening. I clutch my phone tight as I creep toward the entrance, figuring they'll stop me if I'm not supposed to go inside. A strange feeling of disappointment hits me when I scan the masked faces and don't feel Kane's presence. I look at their hands, but they're all gloved in brown leather, so I can't see if they're wearing black rings. My steps are careful as I slide through the ajar, beat-up wooden door. The lighting is slightly better inside, but it's still dim, almost candle-like. Stretched out in front of me is a medium-sized reception area that looks similar to an outdated hotel lobby, with stained carpet, a worn-out tall desk, and a dark green sofa that's probably behind the smell of dust and mildew that's permeating the air. I notice 4 doors, one in each corner, painted in different colors: red, black, gray, and white. A shadow gets caught in my peripheral vision and I spin around, my sense of alert hiking. A woman appears in front of me, wearing the same mask and gloves as the men outside. However, she's in a black dress and a tight brown leather corset. She stretches out her hand in the direction of my phone that I've been gripping tightly. I take one last look at the notifications in the hope of finding a text from Kane. When I see nothing, I reluctantly give her the phone. She places it on the desk and mechanically pats me down. I try to sniff her, but I only smell the generic leather. I can't even tell the true color of her eyes due to the poor lighting. I do catch a glimpse of a silver serpentine chain with a talon pendant hanging from her neck. She removes my fitness watch and places it beside my phone, then takes a step back, her hands clasped in front of her. Am I free to go? My voice is heightened in the silence, too loud for my own ears. She says nothing, looking ahead as if she's a statue. I assume I can choose whichever door to go through? No reply. All right, then. I avoid the red and black doors for obvious reasons. The colors themselves are ominous. I also vote against white. It might seem safe on paper, but if it's a psychological trick and the colors are reversed, I don't want to end up facing the worst trial. With a deep breath, I stride to the gray door and then stop. I recall something about what Kane said, only senior members wear black rings. I assume black is associated with them. Silver, which is the equivalent of gray on this occasion, is probably associated with the woman and the men outside, like their masks. They're not seniors if they're tasked with mundane things like supervision and security. At the last second, I change direction to the black door. Maybe Kane is behind it, and while I'm not sure if he'd help, I'd at least see a familiar face. When I turn the knob, a loud creak echoes in the air, making goosebumps erupt on my bare arms. I steal one last look behind me to find the woman staring at me, unblinking, completely statuesque. I gulp and go inside. A low light hangs from the ceiling, showing long stairs. I start going down, and when I look back, the door I came through is closed. I go down for some time, and when I arrive at the bottom, I find another metal door. I carefully open it and walk in. Deep darkness envelops me as the door slowly shuts behind me. The low creak is followed by a soft click that thuds in my chest. I can't see anything, not even my hands. I reach behind me for the knob and touch something cold and flat, like a small metal plate. I feel around, my short nails getting stuck in the cracks of the wood, but there's no way to open it. A shattered exhale slips through my lips, and I remain completely still, barely sensing my own existence. I'm stuck. I don't like feeling stuck. Not after I was trapped in the car with my dead parents for several hours before I was found. I'd like to think I've gotten over my slight claustrophobia, but the more I look and see nothing, the tighter my chest squeezes. Drip. I startle, searching around like a caged animal. Drip. Water. It has to be water coming from somewhere. Cold air bites into my skin, and the pungent smell of moist earth, along with the faint stench of something rotten, linger in my nostrils. I stretch my arms out on either side of me and touch damp stone. A tunnel? A cave? Carefully, I take one step forward, then follow with another while still touching the stone. The silence is oppressive, only broken by the occasional drip of water ringing in the darkness. Each footstep is loud, almost as if the walls are echoing them. Once I'm sure the ground is safe, I walk faster. My clothes cling uncomfortably to my skin, and my heart beats loudly. So loudly, I can only hear the thumping in my ears. Someone once said it isn't darkness that's scary, it's what lurks inside it. So, despite the complete annihilation of my vision, I still squint and blink and struggle to make out something, anything around me. I'm not sure how long I walk, but it's long enough that I feel the strain and my throat turns dry. But maybe that's because of how hyper-aware I am, as if I'm waiting for one of those horror ride skeletons to jump out at me. Though I could handle that, or any other horror-esque scenarios. Fictional jump scares don't faze me, not when I spent my childhood surrounded by actual monsters. I walk farther, still feeling the walls, my heartbeat finally dropping to a relatively normal rhythm. My trial is probably at the end of the tunnel. The sooner I get there, the better. Dahlia? I still, my breathing deepening, and a shocking shiver slashes through me. Mom? I haven't heard that voice since I was 6. It's been over 15 years. After my parents' deaths, I hopped from one home to another, meeting one foster mom after the other until they all blended together, but I could never forget Mama's voice. The softness, the affection, and the slight exhaustion from spending late nights sewing dresses. No one has ever loved me like Mama. Dahlia, honey. She speaks again in the darkness, like an angel. I bite my lower lip to keep from calling out to her and telling her how much I miss her. This is a trial. They're trying to mess with me. A strong light shines in front of me and I squint, then close my eyes. An orange film forms behind my eyelids as my sight gradually adjusts. The sound of giggles reaches me and I slowly open my eyes again. There's a light before me, projected into a wall, that shows an old video of my toddler years. I look close to 1 year old. My chubby little hands grab onto a leather sofa covered with a colorful quilt, my brown curls chaotic and lighter than they are now. Come on, honey. Come to Mama. My vision blurs when the camera shifts to Mom, who's sitting on her knees. It's been such a long time, I almost forgot what she looked like. After the accident, the bank foreclosed on the house, then auctioned most everything in it, and threw away the rest or sent it to an old distant aunt who refused to take me in. I didn't even get a picture of my parents. The only image I have of them is in my head. After so many years, it's gotten distorted and changed, but as I watch the video, I can finally see my Mama again. I look so much like her, though her skin was a bit tanner. Her hair lighter, her eyes brown, while mine are hazel. She was a beautiful woman, but what I recall the most about her is the stunning smile that never left her lips, no matter how hard things got. Come, baby. One more step. She encourages, both her hands stretched out. Little me finally takes the leap. I reach toward her and walk like a drunken man. Mama! Mama! Yes! She squeals as I take a few steps and fall into her embrace. Mom hugs me tight, stands up, then whirls me in the air as I giggle uncontrollably. She stares at the camera, tears of joy forming a sheen in her eyes. Did you see that, hon? Doll's first steps.
I did.
Dad's voice sounds deeper than I recall. The video zooms in, slightly shaky as he approaches us. The last still is a blurry image of Dad with his arm around Mom and me, his face unclear. My hand reaches out of its own accord as a tear slides down my face. I've never seen this video. I wasn't even aware it existed. I don't know what I want to do. Touch the screen, touch them, hug their image. The still flickers on the screen, and then a darker video appears. Road surveillance footage. My lips part as I see a grainy image of a car flipped beside a cliff, an older blue Toyota. Dad's car. My ears buzz when the video quickly rewinds, and I watch as a truck comes from the opposite direction, the bright headlights and the loud horn nearly splitting my skull open. Our car swerves and I drop to my knees on the cold, hard ground, slamming both palms to my ears to keep from hearing the crash. But the sound penetrates my hands and explodes in my ears so loudly I scream. In a fraction of a second, I'm transported to 15 years ago. Daddy, look, I made my doll a dress. I gloat, bouncing up and down in the back seat. Hey, look, look! Your daddy is driving, doll. Mom looks back and strokes my hair. Don't distract him, okay? But I want to show my doll. I pout, then shove my doll against the back of his seat. Daddy, look! Stop it, doll! Mom scolds harshly. My lips tremble and I start to cry, hugging my doll tightly to my chest.
Don't cry, baby.
Dad glances at me.
Your doll looks beautiful.
Really? I sniffle between tears.
Yes, but not more beautiful than you.
John! Mom screams as blinding white light flashes through the car and a loud crash echoes in the air. The last thing I see is a red mist and vacant, lifeless eyes. I'm hugging myself on the damp ground, my sweaty fingers shaking, my face full of tears as I watch the video on the screen on a loop. "Why did you kill us, Dahlia?" Mom's sad voice asks. "Why? I didn't mean to. I... Mom, I didn't know."
You disappointed me, doll.
Dad's voice speaks so close to my ear, I shiver all over. "Dad." I whisper and turn around, but there's no one there. All of my surroundings are filled with projection over projection of the accident. In front of me, behind me, on the walls, on the floor. My nightmare is repeated in grotesque, vivid detail. Every time the crash echoes in the air, I scream. Every time I smell the burning rubber on the road and taste the tangy, metallic blood of my parents. My doll is bent, stained with my own blood. The beautiful tulle dress I made is torn and smudged with red. I hug my knees to my chest, hide my face in them, and slam my eyes shut to ward off the gruesome images. But I still can't block out the haunting sounds from my darkest nightmare. The crash, the screams, the sirens, the distorted medics' voices. Make it stop. Someone make it stop. Please. No one does. My whole life, I've learned that if I want something done, I have to do it myself. Knights in shining armor don't exist outside of fiction. Luck has never been on my side, and never will be. The psychological torture repeats in a cycle of despair that erodes my sanity. I stop feeling my limbs as the shadows of the past stretch and contort, turning into new cruel whispers each time the scene replays. You killed your parents. Why are you alive? You should have died, not them. If you weren't a spoiled brat, none of this would have happened. You are the reason they're gone. Why do you feel sorry for yourself? You're not the victim here. Stop the main character energy. Murderer. 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 No! I scream, jumping up into a standing position, wiping at the snot and tears covering my face. Adrenaline burns in my veins as I stare at the scene, unblinking. My hands fisted, my legs shoulder-width apart. It hurts, but I don't look away. It hurts, but I watch it again from start to finish. My parents are gone, but Violet isn't, at least not completely. Violet needs me, and if I have to go through this torture for her, so be it. When the video comes to an end, I ready myself for another round, another visual and auditory assault, but the projections disappear completely. A small flickering wall lamp switches on. I'm indeed in a tunnel. Through my teary vision, I make out a blinking camera light in the ceiling and stare at whoever is watching as I wipe my eyes with the backs of my hands. You won't break me. No one will.
Congratulations, Dahlia.
A man says, his suave voice filling the tunnel.
You've passed the mental test, but there's still the physical test left. Correction, it's both mental and physical. Since this is a trial, if you say the safe word you agreed to with the senior member who invited you, everything stops. You'll be escorted out and banished from campus and town. As long as you stay quiet after that, you get to keep your life. If you don't, I'll leave that to your imagination.
I gulp, searching my surroundings. I already told Kane I wouldn't say the word, and that won't change now. Nothing is worse than reliving my worst nightmare. A door opens somewhere to the right, and I squint, but I can't see its exact location in the shadows. A tall silhouette walks toward me, a man judging by his build and height. He's dressed in a black t-shirt, jeans, and army boots. His hands are covered with black leather gloves, and his face is hidden by a black mask that resembles a plague doctor. However, this one has sharp, unsettling serpentine and talon details swirling in the contours, like a curse. He stands there, his height eating up the small space as he stares me down. His chilling gaze seeps through my clothes and strikes my skin. I look to either side of me, searching for an escape. He remains motionless, as if waiting for my next move. The tunnel extends as far as my eyes can see, no ending in sight. But maybe that's the point. My limbs are still shaking from the assault of the video, but I gather my strength, turn around, and run. I don't even make it 2 steps before my legs are grabbed. The ground shifts and I fall with a thud, my knee hitting the dirt floor so hard I feel it in my bones. A large weight lands on top of me, pushing me down and forcing every breath out of my lungs. I squirm and buck against him. I don't know what's come over me or if I should even be fighting. It's a survival instinct, innate and unconscious. Deep down, I know I can't beat someone this much larger than me, but that won't stop me from trying. A gloved hand wraps around my throat, lifting and twisting my face up until I'm looking at the gruesome mask.
Red. Say it. Or submit.
My eyes widen. Kane. It's Kane's voice.
All right. Well, you guys got a little extra chapter out of you, boy. Only reason being is because it seemed like those other 2 chapters were a little too short, so I threw in an extra one for you. That's going to be today's episode. Hopefully you guys enjoyed today's episode. Again, if you haven't seen the previous episode where we started Beautiful Venom, the link is down in the description for the playlist. I will see you guys on Sunday for another lovely episode. And love you all and peace.